My name's Erin and I'm here to interview Steven McDonnell about his sporting life.
Hi Erin, how are you?
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a place called Newtown Clog, which isn't too far away from here. I suppose I was lucky enough where I grew up. I was only 500 yards from a football pitch at any time, so great childhood memories.
What was your childhood like?
It was pretty active. I was a lively enough kid. Always found myself in a football pitch, whether it was a soccer pitch or a gaelic pitch, and I always had a ball in my hand, so it was pretty active. And even when I didn't have a ball in my hand, I was running, doing things sporty and keeping myself active all the time.
Who was your sporting hero growing up?
My sporting hero, I've got many sporting heroes. I suppose growing up as a Liverpool fan, one player that I respected and looked up to would have been John Barnes, a fantastic winger for Liverpool down through the years. On a Gaelic football front, there was a player called Jack O'Shea from Kerry, one of the all-time greats in Gaelic football, and he was a midfield player, a player that could do it all, and he was the player that I pretended that I was out in the backyard.
Who was your influence growing up in sport?
My biggest influence, I've got many influences once again. I always respected every manager that I played under and all the coaches, but one manager in particular stands out, and that's my very first Gaelic football manager, which is a man called Thomas Mallon. From me, teaching me the basic skills from an early age when I was 8 or 9 years old was very important, and stood me throughout my career, and Thomas was the man behind all of that. My father and my two brothers also, being the youngest boy of three in the family, so having the older brothers to look up to and play football with all the time was a great help for me and also my father.
When you were younger, did you ever believe you'd become well known in sport and an icon?
I always probably hoped that I'd become well known. For me, it was always about trying to be the best that I could be in the particular teams that I was playing in, and trying to build up a reputation for myself, whether that was at under 14, under 16 or minor level. It didn't make a difference, and it wasn't really until I was 19 or 20 that I actually started looking at the bigger picture.
How did it make you feel winning the All-Ireland 2002?
It's a long time ago, but looking back, extremely proud. Proud for a number of reasons. One of those reasons is the fact that I was involved in a very successful Armagh team, the most successful Armagh team of all time, and the very first Armagh team to ever go and lift the Sam Maguire. And to look back now and look at the friendships that I made with the players in that particular team and the management team in that team, still makes me feel proud to this day. And it is something that you aspire to, as well as a young Gaelic footballer growing up. Will you ever have the opportunity to grow up and win the All-Ireland? And I'm fortunate enough that I came upon a good team at the right time, and we were lucky enough to kick on and win one.
Who would you say is the best player you've played against, and why is that?
The best player I've played against, it's a question that I've been asked quite a number of times, and it's a very difficult question to answer. Believe it or not, I've come up against many great players, but there's been a number of special talents. Colin Cooper, who's one of the all-time greats and still playing the game, he's special talent, but maybe from my point of view, I never come up on a one-on-one with him because we were both playing in the same position. But some of the toughest markers and toughest defenders that I've ever come up against are possibly Erin McDonnell from Armagh, Ryan McMahon from Tyrone, Micheál McCarthy from Kerry. The list goes on. I believe that every defender has their own challenges, offers their own challenges up to you, and it's about how you cope with the demands of what they're putting you under.
Right. How does it make you feel being known as Stevie from Clevie?
Stevie from Clevie. Yeah, I suppose I've been at all corners of this country, and no matter where I go, whatever county I'm in, there's always somebody to recognise me as Stevie from Clevie. And once again, I'll go back to the point I made earlier about being proud to be from Armagh and playing with a great team. I'm also proud that maybe I've put Clevie on the map as well. It's the place that I grew up in, and it's the place that I learned my trade in terms of playing Gaelic football, and being from Clevie, it makes me a proud man as well. So if people from Cork or Kerry or Galway or Mayo were ever saying Stevie from Clevie, I'm happy that the word Clevie is mentioned as often as possible.
Does your working life now interact with sport, and if so, how does it?
It does, believe it or not. I suppose I've been fortunate enough through work that I've been involved in recruitment for 10 years, and I'm in a management position in the company that I work for, and I'm currently managing a team of footballers up in Clevie as well. So being able to identify the different characteristics of different individuals is very important, and I suppose working with different people at different levels as well is very important, and it certainly coincides with one crossing over the other. And you know what I picked up from managers that I played under at on a sporting front, likes of Joe Kiernan being one, Sean Boylan, Anthony Tohill, great leaders in their own right, and you know, you pick up tips and you bring it into the business front as well, and I've certainly done that from the lessons that I've learned from those guys.
Is there a moment that stands out for you in all your years of sport?
There's many moments. The obvious one would be obviously winning the All-Ireland in 2002, but there's many great moments that I look back and say, you know, I was very proud to be, you know, involved in the teams and played with the players that I did. I look back just a number of years ago, back in 2012, captaining and winning a championship title with my club Clevie. It was a very proud moment for me. I never had the opportunity to win anything at senior level with Clevie and got that chance in 2012. Captain Ireland once again was a very proud moment to get the opportunity to lead out the best players in the country, the players that you come up against year in year out, and to lead those guys out against professional players in Australia was a great moment for me, and probably topping the all-time international rules scoring charts as well was a great moment for me. So the list could go on. I could list one point from, or 1 or 2 points from every year that I played at the highest level, but certainly those are moments that stick out for me.
Is there anything else you'd like to achieve or see happen within sport?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to become a successful manager. You know, I suppose as a player, when you have the bug and the habit of winning things, you know, it stays with you forever. And I've moved into management now, and I don't want to just be a manager to develop players. I want to be a manager to develop players and be successful. And you know, I am managing the current Clevie senior team. I would love to manage them to an intermediate championship win this year, and hope for the future, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, a possible senior championship title as well. I would also have aspirations further down the line, maybe 5 or 10 years time, to become the Armagh team manager, and whatever that brings as well. I would like to think that I will have plenty of experience under my belt at that stage, and capable of taking a team to compete once again for the All-Ireland.
What advice would you give to a young person looking to make... What advice would you give to a young person looking to make a career in sport?
It's for any young person aspiring to become a sports star, I would just say enjoy the sport that you participate in. The reason why we all play sport is to enjoy it and play with a smile on your face all the time. Respect your coach's advice at all times. Sometimes you may come up against a coach or a manager that you don't particularly get along with, but they will always say 1 or 2 things throughout that time that they're with you that you'll take on board, and it will stand you in good stead for the rest of your career. But respect what coaches are telling you. They're doing it for your benefit, and the most important thing, be happy and play with a smile on your face.
Thanks very much for coming.
No problem. Thank you very much.